What's going on, money makers? I'm your host, Katie Welge, back here with your golf edition of my Daily Dimes for Pine Sports. That's right, we've got the U.S. Open coming right up, and we're going to be talking favorites with none other than VIP golf capper Danny, who's coming back on to give his expert picks for the big tournament, which includes the top 22 players who will be entering the 122nd United States Open. Before we hit the green, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more Daily Dime content. So if you haven't already heard, Pine Sports and Thrive Fantasy have teamed up to give you all a promo code when you sign up to score access to free plays and an instant match of your first $100. Use the promo code PINE to snag this deal and win big with Thrive Fantasy today and every day. Link is in the description below. All right, Danny, so we've got all the big names teeing up for this week's event, including the newly acquired and, dare I say, controversial LIV members like Dustin Johnson and Phil Mickelson. But tell me what makes the U.S. Open special and what should be considered replacing these bets for this tournament specifically.
So the U.S. Open is known as the hardest test in golf. The USGA, the governing body for golf here in America, they really want to test a player's all-around game. That means that you're looking at really, really long rough. The last couple of weeks at Muirfield Village for the Memorial and even with the Canadian Open had long rough. And if you watched, you probably noticed a lot of players struggling to get back into the fairway if they were offline from their tee shots. This week, it's going to be even worse. You can go on Twitter and see videos of people dropping balls from like hip height into the rough, and the ball just completely disappears. So for the US Open, for success, you need to be accurate and you got to be long off the tee as well. And then that's just half of it. Once you get into the fairway, then you got to stick the green. And this course, the Country Club at Brookline, Massachusetts, has very small greens. So you got to hit the fairway and then you got to hit a very specific spot on the green just to hold the ball, just to have a birdie chance. Otherwise, you're looking at par or maybe even bogey, and you got to be happy with it at that point.
So now, taking all of that into consideration, who stands at the top of your list of favorites for this championship?
So knowing what you're looking for off the tee at the US Open, three names came to mind pretty quick. The first one is Jon Rahm, and I got him at 1,600, plus 1,600 yesterday. He's right around there. You may be able to get him at plus 1,500 on FanDuel if you need to. But it just seems like he's not having a very Jon Rahm-like year. But he's actually really awesome off the tee. In the last 50 rounds, he leads this field in strokes gained off the tee. He's led the field in 8 of his last 12 events in terms of driving accuracy, which, as I mentioned, is super important at this event. The last time out was at the Memorial, and that was his only time this year where he actually lost strokes to the field off the tee. So I'm assuming that's a bit of an outlier. And for the US Open, you need long and you need straight off the tee, and that's Jon Rahm. He's just the guy that's going to pump it out there 330 and give himself a really good chance to get to the green. So my second pick is Will Zalatoris. I think that his best chance to win a major is going to be at a US Open. He's a big game hunter. He always seems to show up at the biggest events of the year. He plays difficult courses pretty well. It sure feels like he's trending for a win soon, and it's kind of surprising it hasn't happened already. In the last 50 rounds, he's 4th in strokes gained off the tee, and he's 4th in strokes gained on approach. That means in ball striking, combining both statistics, he's number 1 in the field. So while his issue is and always will be putting, if he finds the fairway off the tee, which we know he can do it, he's going to stick the green and he's going to stick the ball close because that's just what he does. He's one of the best iron players in the game. He's finished T5 or better in 5 of his last 7 events. And he has a T6 finish at the 2020 US Open at Winged Foot. So I think it's a pretty good value play. So the US Open has produced a lot of first-time major winners in the past. So I'm not afraid to go for a first-time major winner. Again, if we're focused on off-the-tee strengths, I like Joaquin Niemann. I'm usually hesitant on some, lesser-known players. Are they going to fold under the pressure? Like if you look at Mito Pereira at the PGA just a month ago, how he really struggled down the stretch, which is kind of heartbreaking to watch. Joaquin Niemann, I think, can hold up because he won the Genesis earlier this year, Tiger Woods event over in LA, playing against some of the best players in the world, and he won that wire to wire. I would know because I bet on him for that event. After that win, I felt that he is going to be somebody that with his off the tee prowess was going to put him in really good spots for a US Open. Well, here we are. There's nothing about his season since the Genesis win to tell me that he's not going to compete this week. He's 6th in the last 50 rounds in strokes gained off the tee, and he's 23rd in strokes gained on approach, but that makes him 9th in ball striking. Additionally, when you do miss the green, you got to have really good around the green play. And he went from one of the worst players on tour last year to now one of the best. So yeah, he may spray it a little wildly off the tee on occasion, but his ceiling is so high that if he keeps it in the fairway, he's going to get it to the green and put himself in positions for birdies or pars, which is what you need to win a US Open.
Thank you, Danny, for the great picks. I would be sure to lock these in if you guys are betting on this one. Follow Danny on Twitter at Tee2Green for more of his content, and the link to the Discord where you can find him for more of his VIP picks is in the description. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Happy betting.